whatever.
Yeah, you're my kind of girl. I love it. That won't be the
There we go.
first swear word that happens tonight. That's for
Okay,
sure.
good.
How old's your
Just
baby?
she'll be 2 months tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
can just ask like any questions that you want to.
I know. I'm like, this is great. I really needed a consultation, so it's
It's like a
apropos, I guess.
public consultation. That's what we could do.
You could. Yeah, that actually would be really useful
All
for me.
right.
We'll see who else.
I love
Uh,
it.
how are you, Emily?
I'm good. I'm good. I just put both of my kids to bed. One is 4.5 and the other one is 3. And they should stay asleep, and you never know if one's gonna come running in. I don't think so
Yep.
though, actually.
I have my husband convinced that I can't put the baby to sleep because she like smells my milk and then she will want to eat. And so he puts her to sleep. So if
That's well
that's not
played.
true, I don't want to know. Don't tell him.
That's well played. I like it. That's a great style.
I'm all about whatever tricks, deception is necessary, for the whole act to work. So
Nice. That's great.
no, he's really good at putting her to bed. So
That's awesome. That's great. My husband loves doing bedtime. And I used to totally have him give a bottle and do bedtime so I could just like sit and enjoy the quiet for a little bit.
yeah.
And then pump and go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. So 4 and 3, that's busy.
Yeah. No, they're coming into the ages that I really love their ages right now. Honestly. It felt harder when they were like both in diapers and both in cribs and both like so little at the same time. And like I'm actually like, not that I wasn't enjoying them before, but right now like this is a pretty cool age because they share a room and they play together. They get along really well, and like they're into Barbies, and I can be like, go play with your toys.
No.
So it's nice. Yeah.
And how's quarantining with them?
So we decided, so I live in Charlestown, and we actually, when the Boston public schools closed, because that's where my daughter goes, and my other daughter's in like a private school that follows suit of BPS. So when they closed, we ended up leaving Charlestown and coming to live with my husband's parents in the suburbs, which we've been out here for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously a lot, but it's really nice to just have a yard and more space and be able to take the kids outside. So
That's a double whammy, quarantining with kids and in-laws.
yeah, it is. I know. I would tell you more, but I can't.
We'll just let that story play out in our heads. No,
Yes,
no,
you can imagine it, right? So, do you want me to tell people a little bit about Boston Naps to get started?
Yes, I would love you. When and why and how did you start Boston Naps? And introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. Yeah, I didn't know if you were ready. I wanted to make sure.
I think, girls, Tara, am I ready? I think so.
Okay,
I know
cool.
they told you to wait like a few minutes for people to get on. I think we're good.
I know, we look good. We have a lot of people joining in. I keep seeing them coming. So, well, it's really, thank you guys for having me. My name is Emily Silver. I'm one of the founders of Boston Naps, and I own the company with Jamie O'Day. She's my business partner. And we've had Boston Naps since 2011. And we provide care for women who are pregnant. So all your education, anything that you need during pregnancy, and then we take care of women and families when they deliver and they go home. So we have all registered nurses who work for us that come into the home and take care of the babies and the moms, and we do lactation consulting and sleep consulting and new mom support groups and everything under the sun that you can imagine. Essentially, my background is I'm a family nurse practitioner and a board certified lactation consultant. And Jamie's a registered nurse and also a board certified lactation consultant. So when we first opened the company, we were just doing daytime and overnight care. And then as we went on to have kids and grow families of our own, we have 5 girls between the two of us, all 5 and under. It's like, it's a girl gang, and they are a gang. You should see them together. But so we sort of like started evolving services and doing things that like we realized were lacking and that we also needed. And everything that we do is what our families and clients have always asked for. And that's sort of how we've grown, essentially.
That's amazing. 2011. I didn't realize it's been that long. That's amazing.
I know, like I kind of forget that it has been that long, because for about 5 or 6 years of it, one of us was always like pregnant or having a baby or breastfeeding, and then like getting back on board with like working again. But we both only work for Boston Naps now too, which makes a huge difference. So for the last about 3 years, we've only run the company, where before that we were working as labor and delivery nurses at Beth Israel. Actually, that's where we first originally worked. And then I worked as an NP in an OBGYN office. So, and Jamie taught for like some of the colleges. So we were always like dabbling in other things too. And I think now that we're just like, we dove in head first to this, that's like all we do now.
Awesome. How have things changed for you since the pandemic and the stay-at-home orders?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. So all of our services have always been in person. So either a nurse comes to your home for your classes or your care, or you could come to like our studio or places that we rent for like group things in person. And in the background of last year, Jamie and I had started sort of like dreaming about and building a virtual platform. And we were going to like slowly work on it all year. And we had started professionally filming some videos. And we had this like slow rolling plan to get everything out there. And then we already are sitting on all of the content. And then when obviously coronavirus happened, it was for us sort of like fire under our asses to like hurry up and get it done. So for the last 6 weeks, we've been filming almost, every day, and editing and sending stuff to our website team. And we're really excited. In the next, 4 weeks, you'll see like a huge platform with a membership, and you can access anything and everything online through us. It's going to be really cool.
That's great. So
yeah,
you've been
some
able
of
to
it's already up now. Like if you're pregnant, all the prenatal classes are up, and you can join them live with a nurse. So you can take them in your home on your computer, but you can actually see the nurse and ask questions and talk to other people in your class, or you can watch recordings. And then we have like weekly live webinars. So you always have the option to be live with one of us and actually engage like this and ask questions and talk to other parents in the group. Or if you're like, I can't, I'm too tired, I want to go to bed, or I have something for work already. There's like a million Zoom meetings for everybody right now. You can watch the recording. You have access to watch the recordings later. So for us, it's been a huge shift, because we're so like, if you've ever met myself or Jamie or any of our nurses, we're like really into that like one-on-one aspect. We love being with people. We love being in a room of people. And so it's shifting gears to being in this virtual world. But it's going really well, and our families are really happy, and it's just different,
Yeah, well, it's, I think from my own point of view, like being a new mom, like I didn't want any, if you really needed those services, you just don't want them to go away. So they do have to find a way to shift. Are you still doing night nursing stuff though? Are you able to still send nurses?
So we are no longer sending nurses in for like one-on-one consultations. We are still providing overnight nursing care, but we are only using a very select few nurses on our team who only work for us. So they're not working in hospitals. And we are like have a pretty aggressive screening process to decide if it's the right fit for us in terms of taking the client on. So it's a lot slower for us, that portion of the business, but it's very intentional just to keep the nurses and the patients safe.
Yeah, that's great. And you can do like a breastfeeding consulting virtually?
Yeah, which that at first obviously seemed really strange, because I'm a lactation consultant. So when I go in, I love to like hold the baby, and like we're just like touching. I don't know if you've had anybody come when you had your baby, but we touch your boobs, and we pick up your baby, and we help you with the latch, and we weigh them. And so shifting gears to virtual, I was like, are we going to be able to provide like really good care still through like a call like this? And it's been going really well. I think the one thing is that we can't weigh babies, but we're kicking it old school. Like there's so much more that you can evaluate other than just a weight. It's like getting back to using our brains a little bit in terms of, can you hear the baby swallowing? Do you have enough wet diapers? Are they happy? Like looking at a bigger picture. And so rather than like technical numbers, which is kind of cool. But, we kept following up with clients each week, asking how their virtual experiences were, just waiting for people to give us some like hard or critical feedback. And everyone's like, it's been great. Like I was able to get like exactly what I needed. So it's like picking up more traction now, which is nice.
Good. Yeah, it's been interesting. Every business of all types, big and small, have had to make a lot of adjustments. But I think, most people have been able to find, of course, like not all of it's good or easy, but most people have been able to find the parts that really are. And I imagine some of us will keep some of those things as we kind of go back to our new normal, just like you guys saying, you've been meaning to get your virtual platform going. Can you hear me, Emily? I can't hear you all of a sudden.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, now I can. Just you got quiet and then you cut out.
I'm here.
Okay, you're here. Good. Great. So, I wanted to compliment you as well at my pediatrician or Madison's pediatrician. I had a little issue with her not gaining weight, and I didn't know until she was she was pretty much a month old, because we had spread out all of her appointments as to like have less time in the office. And so at 1 month, or just a few days shy of 1 month, she was still at her birth weight.
Wow. Okay.
And I didn't know. And my milk supply was like drying up. And I didn't know that either, because I was exclusively breastfeeding, not even really pumping and bottle feeding. So it was kind of terrifying, and it led to like some stressful weeks ahead of kind of trying to save her supply, and also had to advocate to get her tongue tied, because technically they were like, well, it's elective. And that was like right when that started to all happen. And I was like, okay, yeah, but no. And I felt kind of that, being a healthcare provider helped me advocate. And I don't know if someone that would have been able to, necessarily get the tongue clipped. I was pretty adamant and was stating my case as to why, from a medical standpoint, I felt that it was important. So that was kind of an interesting thing to go through. But then, so anyway, she didn't gain weight, and I didn't know, because she was having enough wet diapers and poopy diapers, but she wasn't getting weighed. So we ended up buying a scale at home after that, which I know sometimes they wouldn't recommend, and especially in my house, because my husband is like a hypochondriac, and he's putting that onto our daughter as well, or was. He's done pretty well with it, actually, but we had to make like a lot of boundaries around the scale.
Jamie and I always say, if you were on a diet, right, and you were trying to lose weight, if you weighed yourself every day, you would be super annoyed, because the scale wouldn't change. You'd be like, this is stupid, right? But a baby, right, you want to weigh them like every 5 days, every once a week or something, to see like the bigger picture. And it's just like the same thing with us, right?
Well, we negotiated to once a day from like what he wanted, like 10 times every hour or something like that. So
did you find that tongue and the breastfeeding problems?
Getting the tongue clipped?
Yeah.
I think it was like all of the things helped, but I think it did.
Yeah.
And I delivered at BI too, and we kind of knew she had you know, her tongue was tied a bit, but also like, I guess it can kind of like stretch on its own. Like she
Right.
was latching, she had a pretty strong latch. So I don't think that was, I'm not really, you know, in the end, I think it was like a few different things that were the problem.
Yeah, it's usually like a snowball of shit, basically, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's not one thing, it's one thing that happens, and then the snowball starts getting bigger and bigger, right? So maybe the tongue was interfering with the latch, so your supply went down a little bit. So she was obviously drinking, but her weight, she wasn't gaining
Yeah.
as rapidly as they would have seen. And it's like a snowball, like you'll never know
Yeah.
what
It
it was.
was
You
very
would never know.
scary.
You would never
No.
know, too. So
No, I mean, she seems small, but she's a baby. So I was
she's
like, yep,
fine.
they're small.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, she's good now. She's almost 10 pounds. She'll be 2 months tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Nice.
But anyway, that was just a side story. But while I
Yeah.
was at my pediatrician, this is what I was actually going to say.
Yeah.
She recommended you guys, and she
Oh.
specifically recommended Emma. Is that right? Or was it you? Rosenberg.
Oh yeah, Dr. Rosenberg.
I think she said she was a lactation consultant with you guys. I could be wrong on the name, but she said that a couple of her patients had seen a lactation consultant from Boston Naps.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she didn't know the name. Maybe it was you, Emily.
And
she said that the notes were so impeccable, and now she sends all of her clients there, or all of her patients.
It's probably any of our nurses, because their notes are all very impeccable. It's not me or Jamie then. Our notes are very short.
So I thought that was cool. I mean, totally unaffiliated.
That's nice. That's
Copley,
awesome.
Harvard Vanguard, and she was
so
sending
nice.
people your way. So
that's so nice. Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah.
Well, if you need anything, obviously, please let us know at this point. For the love of God.
No, I will. I'm doing better, and I have a lot of lactation consultants in my life, and I kind of had to be like, also not to have too many cooks in the kitchen. I had to like,
absolutely,
you know, narrow it down to one.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair, because we all have everyone has a different opinion, not just lactation consultants, doctors, nurses, lactation, friends, family.
Yeah.
There's a million ways to do something right.
Right.
So you know that now,
yes,
as a mom.
So for our followers, Emily, that aren't familiar with you guys, you have a brick and mortar in South Boston.
That's right. So yes, so we didn't obviously always have the brick and mortar, because everything we do is in people's homes, but we are coming up. We've almost been in it for 3 years now. And so the brick and mortar is sort of like a landing pad for everything that we do. And you can come for prenatal classes there. You can come after delivery. The most popular thing that we do in that location is something called Mom Survival Guide. It's a 6-week series with either myself or Jamie or one of our nurses. And it's for women on maternity leave, no matter what baby you're on. And you come with the same 10 to 12 women every week for 6 weeks in a row. And each week has a structured topic. So we do like gas and fussiness, sleep, communicating, pumping and going back to work. And so that is like, I feel like what we're known for in Boston in terms of coming on maternity leave. People drive from all over to come to our studio for that. We do rent space in Charlestown. So we run them in Charlestown and Southie, but at first it was people in the neighborhood, and now we're really seeing people from like all over the city and the surrounding suburbs coming into either of those locations, which is really fun. And then we have Baby and Me, like fitness classes, Baby and Me music, children's classes. So we run like a preschool little prep program and like music and dance for little kiddos. So it's sort of like, it really is pregnancy to like your newborns and babies right into your toddler years.
That's great. And is that maternity leave 6-week course going virtual onto the virtual platform?
So it did. We did that right away because we were in sessions when all of this happened. So luckily we already had Zoom accounts in place that we had recently set up. So we took the groups that were already in session. So these women had met maybe once or twice already, some of them, right? And we just moved it right online. And then my new groups that ran in the last month, we never met in person. We only met virtually. And again, also I was like super nervous. I'm like, how's this going to go? Right. Because we're not all together. And it went well as you can do on virtual. Like it looks like the Brady Bunch. So I can see all 10 to 11, 12 moms on the screen, and they can see
Mm-hmm.
me, and we keep everybody unmuted so we can all freely talk. And it I make them make a text thread so they can get to know each other outside of the group. But yeah, that all went virtual. And our music, dance classes, fitness classes, they're all virtual. We're not like, we usually have tons of things running all day long. So you'll see like a fitness class once a week, baby and me music class once a week, little kid dance class, little kid music class, sort of baby sign. Like it's all staggered once a week essentially. So you can still see the same instructors and just take the class from home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like you guys have
It was
transitioned really well. I'm really glad to hear that.
it was a lot of work, but we transitioned, but it was definitely like a lot of work. It was a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate. My business partner has a nanny, and she lives in South